What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the show. You're gonna want to hear what I have to say. You know, we've all been sitting here waiting for that one moment, right? That signal that flips this market from fear to full blown mania. Well, it's here, and no one is talking about it the way they should. XRP isn't just back in the headlines, everyone. It is about to make history. We got confirmation that the official launch of the first ever XRP ETF is next week. Yeah, you heard that right. The same institutions that laughed at XRP for all these years are now the ones who are actually building the launch pad. And what's wild about all this is that every time before a major run, the world looks like this: chaos, panic, a full moon lighting up the sky like some cosmic reset button. Coincidence? I don't know, maybe. But if you've been around long enough, you know that markets move on patterns. They don't move on accidents. So stick with me to the end, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why this ETF isn't just another listing, that it is the starting gun for the biggest bull run in crypto history. Without further ado, let's jump into it, folks. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you never miss one of these most epic videos that we put out, and also hit that thumbs up for me. I tell you every single day, but for some reason we still get 10,000 views on the channel, but we're only getting about 600 thumbs up. It really does mean that much, and it is that important to us YouTubers. So I appreciate every single one of you that hits that thumbs up button. Bitcoin. Now let's just talk, forget prices for a second. What a crazy liquidation event, right? Are we out of the works yet? Well, look, we don't know. No one knows. We need to see how the weekly comes in. When's the weekly? It's on Sunday. That is when we can see what this actually was or what it may still be, right? Obviously, 100,000 on Bitcoin is a huge psychological level. A lot of support there. We obviously need to hold it. We've tested it multiple times, and we got to push back up above it. Let's see what the rest of the week brings. Maybe they're just cooling off. Maybe they're going to redump it and send it back down. Who knows? But what I do know is that even if Bitcoin does break under 100,000, it does not mean that the bull market is over. Remember, in order for the bull market to be considered over, you need to look at the starting origin of where this all started. For Bitcoin, it started around 74K. For XRP, it started around 50 cents. And I made it very, very clear yesterday, and I will continue to make it clear so everyone understands what I am doing. I am sitting on my hands. No, I am not buying anymore. No, I'm not selling. When we look at XRP, and I've been involved with XRP for over 8 years at this point, I know deep down inside that it's worth more than $2.23. I did not sit here 8 years to make a 400%, a 4x off of XRP. I know you're probably thinking like, Rip, that sounds greedy. It's not greedy. This is crypto. A 4x happens on even your shit coins, your meme coins. It happens on them in a blink of an eye. There is absolutely no reason that XRP is not worth more than its all-time high from 2017 at this point, right? That's the way I see it. And I told you, I will sit on my hands for another 4 years until we get XRP up into that $7 to $13 range. But at the end of the day, my message to you, if you take anything away from this entire video, is we are not done. We're not even close to being done. You're gonna see the fireworks. We're gonna see right now if 100,000 is that launch point, if that is the bottom for us and where we are going to go. Well, how do we confirm it? It's simple. We need the weekly close to come in and we can get a better idea. Obviously, we would love a monthly close. That's a long ways away. So we're going to look for the weekly close. Now, folks, I advertise the strategy calls. This is exactly what these calls set you up for. Because people on the strategy calls who booked these, they understood where the price of XRP could be. And we were pretty freaking spot on. I'm going to be pretty honest with you. I think we had like a 20 or 30 cent difference. And we set up tag strategies. That's why those calls are put in place. Now let's jump over to your XRP chart. Here's your chart. Doesn't look terrible, right? Let's look at our support and resistance. Let's do some circling so you can see. Here, this was our chop region for quite some time. We failed to break out. We then had this support zone of 224 to 235, which we are re-entering right now. If that is lost, you can expect 205 to 219. Look, these two zones right here, there is a massive amount of liquidity in those zones. It is going to take a major wipeout of Bitcoin. I'm talking Bitcoin from here for XRP to get down there, looking at, it's about a 10, 15-ish% drop off. Bitcoin from here, Bitcoin would need to get into that $88,000 to $92,000 region for that to get closed. If that does get closed, we have a small liquidity zone sitting in that $90-ish region. I'm not concerned about that right now. We're going to get a bounce from here. And the beautiful thing about this is that you see your $3.11 to $3.18 region. This has gotten smaller. I like what I'm seeing. Now, if we look at the oracles here, and the oracles will tell us when we could expect our bounce, we're hitting it, folks. We're hitting it right here. Let me give it a little handy dandy pen. Here's where you can expect your bounce. Where does that go down to? It brings us right back down to that about $1.89, $1.90 region. And then you can expect the reversal to the upside. Every time we have revisited those green zones, we gotta go back a long time. You can see, I mean, we haven't hit it for, it's been a year last time we hit it. But you can see every time we've been in here and we got to the bottom of them, we experienced a mega bullish bounce to the upside. Last one was about 67%. So nothing to worry about. If this is too much for you to market, step away. Because I'm telling you, you're gonna come back in a couple of days and it's gonna be like nothing even happened. We've seen this before. They are fueling up. If you are gonna sit here and tell me that we are about to have a ton of institutional money enter into XRP and that the price is gonna go backwards, it doesn't make sense. The institutions would never enter with that money. They would never stop spot buying XRP with that money. Because we just got confirmation from right here, Canary's Capital CEO Stephen McClurk. He said we're going to launch, or we're ready to launch our XRP ETF next week. Now, I don't know if you were watching SWELL yesterday. Today is day 2. I watched it. I think I got all the way until about 2 or 3 p.m. I almost made it to the end, but then the gym was calling. But if you listen to what he said that the way that they put or file for this XRP ETF was that pretty much the SEC can either deny or approve it. There was no pushing it here. And they had 20 days to do so. So the way he stated it was that's how they did it for Litecoin, HBAR, and Solana, was that the SEC didn't comment on it. That means it automatically gets approval. He stated November 13th. He said he put the XRP in 20 days before there. He didn't know the exact date, but he's telling you November 13th is when it will go live, and that the SEC can either say no or it automatically gets approved. It's going to automatically get approved. So you can get ready for your XRP ETF next week. And then what are we seeing? Because look, at the end of the day, these ETFs, they're about competition, right? Who's going to be first? Because people know first mover advantage, they're going to take in the majority of the money or majority of the funds and make a majority of the fees from these people buying, selling, trading, whatever they're going to do with them, right? So you were seeing all these other companies now who filed for these XRP ETFs going the same exact route that Bitwise went. Why? Well, it's simple. The government shut down. They're not going to wait to get answers out of the SEC because they should have had those answers in October. Who knows how much longer the government's going to be shut down for? Maybe they open tomorrow. Maybe they open December. No one knows. But in the meantime, all these companies that are looking to get approval from the SEC, they cannot. So Bitwise said, all right, well, screw it. We're going to make one little small change to it. I think they had to like check a box or something. And then the countdown's on. You got 20 days SEC to say something. If you're not working, you're not going to say anything. And then it's going to have automatic approval. And that's exactly what they did. So now you see Franklin Templeton. They are doing it as well. There was about 6 or 7 others who were starting to do this. They're taking matters into their own hands, which you know what? Which has to happen because the SEC, they're lazy. They don't want to do anything. They're trying to hold these markets back, but not so fast because these companies, they know the loopholes and they would do whatever they can to get this ETF approved. So folks, look, zoom out. Just relax, okay? This thing is not over. If it was over, you know, I'll be the first one on here telling you, look, pack your bags, we're done. For XRP to flip bullish here on your daily, it's about 267. Remember, this is crypto. These things move in the blink of an eye. This thing is gonna rip. It's gonna fly again. ETFs are gonna be the catalyst. The question is, when do all these ETFs get approved? There's over like 23 or 24 of them. All that money is going to flood the market. Stay focused. Ignore the short-term noise, the short-term volatility. I don't believe Bitcoin's done. I believe we will retest that all-time high again, possibly getting even above that 140 to 170. Patience, everyone, patience. It is coming. I'm going to leave it like that. Look, make sure you hit that thumbs up. I'll catch all y'all on the next one.